In a world just swirling with conflicting narratives, how do we even begin to discern fact from fiction? I mean, what if the very fabric of our democracy actually depended on it? Today, you're experiencing a unique two-voice AI conversation powered by Google's NotebookLM for deeper, more dynamic book analysis. We're taking a deep dive into Barbara McQuade's urgent new book, Attack from Within: How Disinformation is Sabotaging America. Our mission, well, it isn't just to unpack McQuade's critical message about disinformation, but to really analyze how she masterfully communicates it, drawing you into understanding this pervasive threat and what we can maybe do about it.
And that how is really deeply rooted in her foundation. McQuade isn't just another voice out there, not at all. She brings some serious credentials to the table. We're talking former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, a current law professor at the University of Michigan, and, well, a widely recognized legal analyst for NBC News and MSNBC. Her background in law, national security, complex crime prosecution, it gives her a really formidable basis for these arguments. And what really establishes her credibility, her ethos, right from the start, is her reputation. Clear, nonpartisan legal analysis. She's not here to pick a side. She's here to diagnose a societal problem.
That foundation of impartiality is so key, isn't it? Because this book, it feels incredibly timely, almost prescient, maybe. It came out in 2024, landing right in the middle of all this escalating political polarization. I mean, think about the fallout from the 2020 election, January 6th, or even the constant debates around vaccine misinformation. These events have really amplified public concern about how disinformation impacts our democratic norms. And with tech, social media just amplifying everything, the stakes just couldn't feel higher. This book isn't just theory. It feels like a direct, urgent response to these very real challenges we're all kind of grappling with.
It absolutely is. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, McQuade's central purpose is, well, it's crystal clear. She wants to alert and instruct Americans about the insidious methods, the dangers of disinformation, and she's urging active resistance. Her core message is this powerful call against division, against authoritarian tactics wherever they might pop up. Her key goals are really twofold. First, to educate you, the public, on both historical and modern tactics, show how these strategies have evolved, but also how they stay, frankly, disturbingly consistent. Second, and this is crucial, she aims to motivate resistance. Not just passive awareness, but proposing concrete, actionable solutions. It's about empowering every one of us to actually do something.
Right, empowering us. So when we talk about who this book is for, who exactly is she trying to reach with this urgent message? Well, the primary audience, it feels like concerned American citizens, right? Voters of all stripes, educators, policymakers, pretty much anyone who consumes media and is maybe alarmed by the growing discord we see. But it also speaks to others, like students, journalists, even international readers, looking at the health of democracies. And the key themes she explores are all deeply intertwined. You've got the vulnerabilities in American democracy, the psychological and tech mechanisms of manipulation that exploit those, and thankfully, also clear pathways to strengthen our societal resilience. Her tone throughout is it's urgent, definitely clear, informed, and actually incredibly pragmatic. It balances that scholarly restraint with a really powerful call for civic engagement, defending truth. Now, let's talk about the disinformation playbook itself, specifically maybe the rhetorical appeals McQuade uses to persuade you, the reader. Every powerful writer uses these, right? And she does it masterfully.
Yeah, and what's truly striking here is how McQuade strategically builds her credibility or ethos. She doesn't just list her impressive titles, she actually leverages her background. Prosecutor, legal scholar, respected media analyst. It demonstrates this unparalleled understanding of the threats. These roles aren't just window dressing. They really reinforce her impartiality and her profound understanding of the nuanced threats to democracy. And crucially, she deliberately sidesteps overt partisanship. That's huge. By presenting disinformation as a universal threat, an attack on truth itself, not just a problem for one political side, she invites trust from a much wider range of readers. This lets her message kind of transcend those traditional divides, reaching people who might otherwise just, tune it out.
And she's not just appealing to your intellect, though. She's definitely pulling at, well, maybe not heartstrings, but your sense of alarm through pathos. McQuade uses some incredibly evocative language to hammer home the immense stakes here. We're talking democracy, survival, public safety, national unity, big stuff. She references emotionally charged events like the stark reality of January 6th, sure, but also the tangible impacts disinformation has on, say, our schools, our families. This creates a powerful sense of empathy, yeah, but also urgency. She paints a clear picture of the dire consequences: violence, division, the erosion of norms, which cultivates both a kind of healthy fear of what we could lose and, maybe more importantly, a vital sense of personal responsibility to act. It's not just abstract. It feels personal.
Exactly. Then there's logos, her systematic use of logic and evidence. This is what truly makes her arguments feel so airtight. This is where her legal background just shines. She's adept at marshaling a ton of evidence. She draws these compelling historical comparisons, from Mussolini and Hitler to more contemporary examples like Trump, Bolsonaro. And what she reveals is this consistent authoritarian playbook, which she defines as a kind of predictable sequence of tactics undermining trust in institutions, creating an us versus them mentality, all designed to centralize power, dismantle democratic safeguards. She integrates legal cases, extensive media research. Her approach is to logically dissect these manipulation techniques. Like when she discusses how disinformation gaslights the public, she's detailing a tactic that makes people doubt their own reality, right?
Yeah.
Eroding that shared understanding of truth. Or how it muzzles the media by discrediting credible sources, replacing them with propaganda. And strikingly, she even shows how it exploits the First Amendment, weaponizing free speech protections to spread harmful falsehoods. The book structure itself is pure logos. Each chapter meticulously builds on the last, moving you systematically from diagnosis to solutions. Very logical.
Beyond those core appeals, let's maybe dig into the actual nuts and bolts of her writing, her language, structure, specific rhetorical devices she uses. McQuade's language and style, it's like this masterclass in precision combined with accessibility. She uses precise diction, sure, but she doesn't leave you behind. Legal terms explained, historical references contextualized. Her sentence structure is pretty clever, too. You get these short, punchy statements that land with real emotional impact, but they're balanced with longer, more explanatory sentences that meticulously build her logical points. And she relies heavily on analogy, like that powerful authoritarian playbook idea we mentioned. It reinforces an analytical tone, not just purely emotional. It feels like a very deliberate choice, enhancing the rigor.
Totally. And from a structural standpoint, the book is brilliantly organized. Thematically, it creates this clear progression: identify the problem, then present actionable solutions. It kicks off with a comprehensive historical survey, setting the stage, showing how these tactics aren't new, just kind of updated for the modern age. Then it shifts into the socio-technical analysis, exploring how modern tech just amplifies everything, the speed, the reach of disinformation today. And finally, it culminates in these prescriptive chapters offering concrete remedies. What's also really effective is her strategic use of repetition. Key phrases like disinformation is designed to, or her concept of the authoritarian toolbox, which she uses to mean like a set of these insidious methods like false equivalencies or promoting conspiracy theories. They're repeated throughout. It helps ingrain these critical concepts in your memory. She also uses juxtaposition really well, sharply contrasting the sort of seductive ease of disinformation with the civic virtue, the active effort required to actually overcome it.
Yeah, that contrast is powerful. Okay, this next bit on rhetorical devices often reveals the subtle artistry of a writer, doesn't it? What stood out most to you here? Like, she frequently uses rhetorical questions, right? Inviting you, the listener, to pause and reflect. Your own vulnerability, your role. Questions like, could this happen here? They force a kind of personal reckoning. She also uses allusion constantly. Major historical events, rise of fascism, Watergate. This doesn't just give context. It situates the American experience within this broader, often chilling historical narrative. Reminds us that, yeah, democracies have fallen before. And finally, she masterfully employs irony, especially when highlighting contradictions in our polarized discourse. Those who decry fake news while simultaneously spreading it themselves, sometimes without even realizing it seems. The hypocrisy just leaps off the page. As we delve deeper into this really thought-provoking book, just a reminder that you can find more analyses like this on Mindful Moments. That's our YouTube channel offering AI book analysis, inspiring reflection, and rational thought. It's a great companion to these deep dives.
So circling back, how effective is this book ultimately in achieving its purpose? From my perspective, it's remarkably successful. It provides a really accessible analysis of disinformation without dumbing down the complex issues involved. It offers not just that clear diagnosis, but also a practical roadmap for resistance, fostering a tangible sense of shared responsibility among readers. Now, sure, some readers deeply entrenched in conspiracy thinking might resist its message. That's probably unavoidable. But McQuade's very deliberate avoidance of partisan language significantly broadens its appeal. And that is crucial for reaching a wider audience, which is, frankly, a significant achievement in our current climate.
And that deliberate nonpartisanship, it leads directly to her logical consistency and ethical stance, doesn't it? McQuade maintains a completely consistent framework throughout the book. Every claim she makes feels robustly supported, whether it's by legal precedent, a compelling historical analogy, or just direct evidence from recent events. She meticulously avoids logical fallacies, carefully linking cause and effect. She even seems to anticipate potential objections, showing she understands her audience's possible skepticism. Ethically, her emphasis on truth-seeking, the dangers of tribalism, that's paramount. She advocates for reforms that respect civil liberties. It's clear she's not just about shutting down speech, but about countering genuine threats in a principled way, one that upholds democratic values.
Which brings us right to the core of the book's value, its actionable solutions. McQuade isn't content with just diagnosing the illness. She wants to empower her audience with practical steps. She emphasizes the vital importance of media literacy, urging individuals to develop the critical thinking skills needed to tell fact from fiction. And she goes beyond just general advice, actually detailing specific, practical things listeners can do, like cross-referencing info with multiple credible sources, identifying common manipulation tactics like whataboutism or ad hominem attacks, practical tools. She advocates for robust support for local journalism, recognizing its role as a sort of bulwark against disinformation, a source of trusted, community-specific news. Furthermore, she outlines the need for ethical tech policy, arguing platforms have to be held more accountable for amplifying harmful content, not just hosting it initially. And maybe most importantly, she calls for bipartisan engagement. She stresses that countering disinformation isn't a partisan issue, it's a shared responsibility across political divides. It's about building a common understanding of reality, even when we disagree on policy. This really shifts the conversation from just understanding the problem to actively participating in the solution, giving you tools for the battle for truth.
Attack from Within by Barbara McQuade is, well, it's without a doubt a model of effective contemporary rhetoric in nonfiction. It brilliantly merges her personal authority, that rigorous academic analysis, and a strategic, deeply engaging emotional appeal. The book is structured for both accessibility and real depth, ensuring its message resonates widely and effectively arms you, the reader, with understanding.
Yeah, and the book really highlights that understanding how disinformation works, that's only the first step. The true challenge, it seems, lies in cultivating the civic courage to actively defend truth, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. It's about being willing to challenge narratives, maybe even those from within your own group if they contradict verifiable facts. So the question becomes, what actions can you take in your daily life to contribute to this defense beyond just identifying the problem?
For more thought-provoking analyses and to continue your journey of critical thinking, do check out Mindful Moments and all of our podcasts. If this discussion sparked your curiosity, definitely subscribe to this show wherever you listen to podcasts. And please share this unique deep dive with someone who values informed perspectives. You can purchase Attack from Within by Barbara McQuade via the link in the description to dive even deeper into her powerful message. And most importantly, keep thinking critically.